All right. The doors of the church are open once more. I think today is going to be a little tough for us, so I decided to come in my most realest form today. No hats, no cover-ups. It's a very serious topic. So, first, if you find yourself emotionally affected by this video, please do me a favor. Stop the video, go for a walk, turn some music on, find a way to relinquish some unresolved tension in which may fester today. Secondly, if you find yourself overwhelmed to the point to where you cannot control, please do me a favor and reach out to your nearest mental health provider. Thank you. So I just got through watching the movie Straw, newest movie by Tyler Perry, and I just wanted to bring up a few things really quick. I don't want to be long. In watching the movie, there was a few things in which I noticed. I have seen some comments, of course, where we're referring it to John Q. And yes, I see those similarities of a parent fighting for their sick child. That child being sick with the illness and the parent doing as much as they can to try and hold on to that child who's suffering from an ailment, right? So that's a very good comparison to the movie John Q. I've even heard some people say set it off, and I'm like, that's a little far-fetched, just because there's a bank situation. Number two, she did not rob the bank. All she wanted to do was cash her check, her bloody check, by the way. Anyways, two things I found in that story, which I think we're overlooking. Number one, the apartment that she lived in, if you notice the inklings in the movie, there were small inklings where it was telling us, one, the music was too loud. Number two, the music was causing vibrations throughout the apartment. Now, if you know anybody that has seizures, you know that certain things can easily offset people with seizures. So whether it's flashing lights, loud noises, trauma, any type of emotional response, or anything that could be upsetting can cause a seizure. So when the cameraman was showing us the apartment and the apartment was shaking, I think we're all overlooking the fact that those shaking and the loud noise, the mother complaining about the loud noise to the landlord, a lot of those could have been triggers to the child's seizures. Now, I'm not a doctor. No, I don't diagnose. However, I do have enough cognizance to understand that they were giving us signals within the movie. There were definitely signs to say that those things could have been offsetting her seizures. So I think we overlooked that very much so. However, that was something that you should pay close attention to. The loud music, the vibrations throughout the house, the mother putting on the headphones. Hello? The mother had headphones on the baby, meaning she knew that the music was offsetting her child's seizures. Secondly, I heard a lot of you guys calling her crazy and hallucinating. I have to address that too, because once again, we become self-prescribers and we diagnose on our own. When you talk about hallucinations are reactions that our brain cause. Stop. Hallucinations are reactions that our brain causes. Most of the time when you deal with hallucinations, they are a distortion of reality, or they are elements in which the brain creates that are not real. So we see things, we see distortions in maybe the buildings or wherever we are around, we hear things. There's different ways to hallucinate. Now, what this mother was experiencing was grief. One of the 5 stages of grief is denial. And what I believe she was going through was the stage of denial. She had just lost her child that night before. As she was walking out of the hospital, she was holding the blanket and comforting the blanket as if the child was still there. We saw at the end of the movie where, she it really revealed that, there was no kid in the car. She got called up to the school and there was no real call. Yes, those were stages of grief, which causes a level of hallucination. However, I think it was a trauma response. It's a trauma response. What was the trauma? Well, one, her losing her apartment. Two, knowing that the apartment was causing the sickness to her kid to worsen. Three, the issue with work, everything that was happening at work. I think she had basically just had enough. She was at her last straw, and the mother broke. Last few points. Was that the only time she broke? No. She stated in the bank that when she had the kid, she had a premature baby. The doctor was trying to get her to abort her kid. While she was in the hospital, she stated that the doctor told her to sit up, and she knew if she sat up, it would cause more stress on the kid and it would allow her to abort it or a miscarry, or however you want to say it. That is very stressful. It's very stressful to give birth to a preemie. It's very stressful to go through that situation where you put your trust in somebody and you find out that they're actually not in your best interest. So that's very traumatic. When she made the statement, something in me in that hospital broke, I think that went over a lot of our heads. And we immediately started to go through, oh, she's disheveled, she's sweating, she's confused, oh, she's crazy. It's a little deeper than that. I think she was at her last straw. She reached her trigger point, and she was at the point to where she felt like she wasn't being heard. Last few points of this movie. During the hostage, of course, Teyana Taylor, I don't know her name in the movie, but you did a good job. Very good job. When she was on the phone with Teyana Taylor and she was trying to coerce her to come outside, and she was telling her, I want you to come out with your hands up. The most significant part to this is she asked Teyana Taylor, will you be there? Will you be there too? What I believe is, in her emotional break, she started to get to the point where she felt like she had no one to turn to, no one was listening to her. She was asking if someone could take her kids because my mother and my sister are crazy. Predisposition, right? She had already asked the bank teller, can you help me? Can you be there? And the bank teller, even when she got to the door and took the phone, she said, what? I'm going to give her the phone. She started to create a level of trust. In those type of situations when people are having traumatic responses, I think a lot of times people are just looking for someone to trust, somebody to hear them. I feel that the mother went through various strides of experience just to show us that I wasn't lying. That's a whole nother conversation, right? She wanted to do so much. She wanted to express so much. She wanted to go through a hurdle just to show them that she wasn't lying. That tells me a lot about her trauma response. Hello, childhood, parent, predisposition. If you don't get anything else out of this movie, besides a crazy person robbing a bank, I don't know how y'all got that. I need you to understand that trauma will cause you to get to a breaking point. When you are at that breaking point, we all respond differently to trauma. We all respond differently to depression. We all respond differently to pain. And I think what we need to experience most and understand about this movie is that all she wanted was to be heard. I know a lot of you guys keep posting and reposting the same status. All she wanted was $521. But before she got that check, friend, I know a lot of us see things through our own personal lens of life and the way we have our own makeups and mechanisms of how we think. So a lot of you guys stop there and say, oh, well, yeah, if she would have just cashed your check, All I see is her check. Before the check, she wanted to be heard. While she was complaining to the landlord about the music, she wanted to be heard. While she had family who had a predisposition to mental health disparities, she wanted to be heard. When she made a statement about be careful who you have kids with, she wanted to be heard. And if you don't get anything else out of this video today, before you look at a person and you look at their disparity, and before you judge, remember that that is somebody too who just wants to be heard. Do me a favor today. Take off your lens of judgment and try to hear somebody's story today. And if you can empathize, make sure the most powerful statement given by Teyana Taylor in this video, in this movie, I hear you, I see you. Make sure they're heard today and make sure they're seen. Because somebody is at their breaking point. And if there's nobody else to stand in the gap, you may be the thing in the middle of their breaking point. Make sure you hear that person today and make sure you see that person. I see you, I hear you. That was the most powerful statement in that movie. Once again, the doors of the church are open. This is a tough one today. Grieve in peace and love and open. Thank you guys for listening.